What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Going live for SellerAmp Seller Hour. Let me know if you guys are in chat. I'm gonna let the Discord know as well. If you guys are watching the replay, there's a bunch of Father's Day sales and stuff like that going down already, and then they're going to start cranking up here pretty quick as well. So lots of good sourcing opportunities for everyone to be taking advantage of. So make sure you're kind of getting serious about that kind of stuff. And yeah, let me know who we got as you guys jump on in here, and let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna be live here for probably 30 minutes or so, and yeah, it's just me for SellerAmp Seller Hour today. Miles is off in Europe, but yeah, let me know who we got in chat today. Sweet, got that all pushed out there. Nice. Yeah, so like I was saying, there's a bunch of good Father's Day sales opportunities already popping up, and there will be even more as well. What up, Trapper? How's it going, man? Yeah, so make sure you guys are kind of getting after that good stuff. There'll be a lot of opportunity just to like find a really good sale. So if you see a brand that has several third-party sellers on it, they're starting to run a sale. All you need to do is just start looking at the other people on that listing on SellerAmp, and you'll find some good stuff. And yeah, let me know what questions you guys got as far as selling on Amazon as well. What's up, Adrian? How you doing, man? What's up, Marco? Yeah, and then also for SellerAmp Seller, we like to do some ASIN reviews as well. So if you guys have been looking at a product or anything like that, you want me to take a look, we can review some products together. That's always fun as well. We can jump into the data and see what's interesting as well. That's always fun. Let's see, happy Tuesday. Yeah, Father's Day, Sunday. Yeah, so that's a reminder both to buy some profitable inventory on those sales and to make sure you you spend some Bezos bucks on something nice for your pop. Sweet. What's up, man? Had your first sale and got ungated on a brand the first try this weekend. That's what's up. Nice work. Yeah. Congrats on that first sale. You'll remember whatever that product is for a long time. Yeah, I know. Like I even have in my office at home, I have like the first receipt I bought something to resell. I've got it like framed on the wall as just like a little memento. I found it after like a year, and I was like, oh, it was like some like soccer cleats or something like that. I had no idea how to see how fast they were selling. I was trying to sell them on eBay, and I think that item took like a couple years to sell. Naturally, you have no idea what you're doing when you're getting started. Yeah, for sure, Adrian. Yeah, if you guys want to toss me any ASINs or anything like that, it's always fun to look at. What's up, Kerwin? I like the profile pic, especially if that's you. That's pretty sick. Let's see what's up. I bought something from Walgreens to get ungated. Sent you the invoice. Yeah, so just submit again. So like BME was saying, clearly it's obviously it's still very possible to get ungated on stuff. For me, I just usually have to submit a few times on average. But yeah, keep it rolling. And the fact that you bought something profitable at Walgreens, that's a good win there. So yeah, you'll have no problem making some sales there. What's up? Are there 2 or 3 labels needed when shipping? Yeah, so when you're doing FBA, yeah, you'll just have like, I assume that's what you mean. So there'll be the FN SKU label. It's just like a little 2x1 label. And you'll use Boxum to create all the labels and make it as easy as possible to ship to Amazon, that kind of thing. You'll print out the FN SKU label, and then on the box you'll have a UPS and an FBA label. Yeah. Sweet. Good question, Lauren. It'll be more difficult to switch. It would get to the buy box if you switch from professional to individual. Yeah. So you want to keep the pro account, Lauren. The individual, you'll pay like an extra $1 per unit, and you have a harder time making sales and getting ungated. So yeah, I would either not have an Amazon seller account at all and try something else, or pay for the pro account. You're just putting yeah, you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit with that. Been going crazy. That's what's up, Joey. Yeah, good to see you, man. Done the same amount of sales in the last 2 days as your first month. That's how it goes. Yeah. Usually that first month, even if you do like really good, it'll be like, you know, 2 or 3 grand, something like that. I've seen some $10,000 first months, but that's definitely not typical. And now you're starting to see like the snowball effect. How much have you sold so far, Joey? Yeah, and I know things have been clicking pretty obviously for you. So maybe if there's like anything in particular that like helped you kind of understand the game, like as a beginner, let me know what that is. That'd be interesting to talk about with everyone as well. What's up, Stephanie? You made the live? Absolutely, you did. Yeah. Let me know if you got any questions I can answer for you. Yeah, and like I was saying, if any of you guys have been looking at any like particular ASIN today, this week, that kind of thing, if you want to drop it in chat, those are always fun. We can look at example products together and see what if it's good or not. How are the invoices supposed to look? Yeah, so just go to just look up how to get ungated, and it'll probably be a video of myself or Miles that pops up, and just follow that. Yeah, you just submit it as a PDF basically. Let's see. Dumb question. There's no dumb questions here, Marco. Yeah, everyone started somewhere. Yeah, I like going back every now and then. Like I used to comment on a bunch of like old YouTube videos on the Amazon niche of like Rakin and a couple other guys. And every now and then those will get commented on, and people like noticed that I was like asking dumb questions back in the day. But yeah, that's what it takes, right? It's easy to sign up on a computer than mobile. Yeah, do whatever. I would sign up on a computer, but yeah, no dumb questions. We all start somewhere. Only about 2K, you do 4K this month. That's what's up. Yeah, that's $2,000 to $4,000 more than the vast majority of people will ever make on their own online. So yeah, celebrate that as a big win there. That's what's up. Personal ROI and profit, usually like 30% ROI, like $3 profit or so. That's going to depend on the type of item too, though. So like if it's a high return item, I'm usually not going to buy a 30% ROI unless it's like really, really consistent or like a really fast seller, that kind of thing. Just because the cost of returns is going to add up. Yeah, basically the way I look at it is the riskier you think an item is, whether that's the risk of return or the risk of the price tanking or the risk of something weird going on with the listing, like if you're selling a listing and the branding looks a little odd or something like that, that all just is a big sliding scale of how little or how much ROI profit you're looking for on that product. Sweet. Yeah, you guys are rolling on some questions here, so keep it rolling. And for those of you guys that are trying to kind of get serious about this stuff as well, down below there's a free course you can start with on whatever channel you're watching on. There's a free course you can start with. So watch that free course. It's like 3 or 4 hours. There's a free Discord, and then all you need to do is grab a free trial of SellerAmp and box them. And that's how you'll find all your products and ship it off to Amazon and that kind of stuff. So if you guys are really new, that's kind of the next action items is take a little bit of a free course and then grab the tools, start taking action ASAP on that stuff. Sweet. You have a company in Canada. Are you able to sell in the US, the same company? I would assume so. You might want to talk to like another Canadian seller on that, Hustler. There's like in the free Discord I was just talking about down below, there's a section for like Canadian sellers and European sellers and that kind of thing. That'd be a good thing to just pop a quick question, and there'll be a Canadian seller that has been there before. I would assume you can sell in the US, but I don't want to give you a bad international law / tax advice, that kind of thing. Yeah. Sweet. Shipped 7 new ASINs. They've all been reserved. So yeah, that means reserved is when they're just like not available for sale yet, but Amazon has them. So usually what reserved is they're an FC transfer. So they are they're shifting between different fulfillment centers and that kind of thing. If you go onto your inventory page and click like that, the number of units you have, there'll be a little drop down box and it'll show you where everything is, by the way. For sure. So you had the seller account for a while, never listed any products. Yeah, you can definitely you can fix that today. Yeah. As far as like listing items, I made a video on my channel, the Fields of Profit channel, not too long ago, about how to like list products and get those shipped into Amazon. So yeah, you can just watch that and that'll show you. But yeah, I would start with the free course I was just talking about. You can check that out down below. Yeah. How long does it usually take to get ungated? Usually, sometimes it'll be like 15 minutes. Sometimes it'll take 24 to 48 hours for them to get back to you. It kind of depends. Yeah. A couple days. Yeah. A lot of times it'll be like 24 hours ish on average. Sweet. Got the pro account. Didn't charge you yet. I have 5 products live and no sales. Yeah, sounds like you're off to a good start. Just check the pricing on that. Basically, if you have the products that are if they're actually arrived at Amazon and you're not making sales and they've been there for a second, then yeah, I would just check on pricing. You probably need to lower by $1 or $2 to start making some sales. Sweet. Yeah, you guys are firing away here. Let's see. I can get to the premium community. Yeah, Hustler. So that's just the FBA Roadmap. I'll put the link in chat if you guys are interested. That's basically every piece of knowledge you need to know. There's like some weekly calls and that kind of stuff if you're interested in a little bit more hands-on help, that kind of thing. So you received a letter from the brand stating that you're not authorized to sell the product. You take the listing down. I only do that if there's like a good history. If you look on the listing and there's like very few third-party sellers, or you see third-party sellers that got kicked off, especially if they had stock showing on the offers tab on Keepa, and then suddenly they disappeared, especially like an FBA seller, that kind of thing. That shows me that the brand is kicking people off. But the vast majority of those letters you'll get in the mail are just an empty threat, to be honest. I have ignored basically every single one that's not like a big thick packet, and it literally nothing has ever happened. I probably have hundreds of them. Yeah, it can depend on the brand on what they actually want to do, but that's how I look at it personally. How hard is it to work with local distributors to purchase products for wholesale? Yeah, you can totally do that. It's as hard as picking up the phone, 10 to 50 to 100 times and getting told no all those times until you get told yes. Or you get told yes and the prices are no good and there's no wiggle room to say, hey, we need it at this price, how many do we need to buy, that kind of thing. Yeah, you got to find like the right type of distributor, I'd say, because too small and their pricing is probably not going to be good. Too big and then they've got a lot of overhead that they've got to factor into things. So a lot of times, like you're saying, like local can be pretty good. Just like you got to find a sweet spot, which the only way to find it is calling a bunch of companies, basically. Yeah. Let's see. Got ungated for a PlayStation. Went to add it. Said you couldn't list it in new. Try submit again, or that particular ASIN you can't sell on Amazon. Yeah. Hoping to snowball for next few months. That's what's up, Joey. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Trying to connect. Yeah, that sounds like a Be Cool problem. I would hit up Be Cool on that. I have no idea what they're doing on their back end and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I can help you out a good amount with SellerAmp or Boxen, but companies that I don't own, I'm gonna have to say you're gonna have to talk to them on that. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. And if it's an IP complaint, yeah. So you're talking about the letter you got from the brand. So if you get an IP complaint through Seller Central, at that point, then usually I'll try to sell out as fast as I can. Or if you get like an inauthentic or IP, that kind of thing, and it's not like that valuable of a product, then I might just sell it on a different marketplace. It's kind of a risk reward thing at that point if you do get an IP complaint. Let's see. You got some products not getting the buy box because your price is too high. Price only a few bucks more. Do you wait for the lower priced items to sell? Yeah. So if there's a reason why the price might go back up soon, then yes, I would wait for it. Typically, there's not going to be a reason unless like the sale you bought it on is gone and no one else can sell it that cheap and make a profit. Seasonality is in your favor. So like right now, if it's like a very summer type item, maybe you hold on to it. But also, if you only have to lower it like a few bucks and you start making sales, then I would probably just make sales. Yeah, it's generally better to keep money moving rather than like buying a bunch of stuff that you're hoping the price is going back up on. Let's see, SellerAmp or Keepa for new sellers. Yeah, so you want to use both. But yeah, I do. You do most of your sourcing with SellerAmp. Keepa just has like some advanced data that can be helpful to look at as well. Yeah. What's the cure for hesitation on sourcing? Can you pick literally any product to start sourcing? If you're talking about just like an ungating starting point, then yeah, you can start with pretty much whatever you want. Yeah. As far as like hesitation on sourcing, I'm not sure. That's kind of whatever that mental block is for you. Because usually I can understand the hesitation on like buying a bunch of inventory, that kind of thing. Maybe if that's what you're talking about, that makes sense. And in that case, the only way to like cure the I don't want to spend much money, I don't want to lose money, that kind of thing, is to buy a bunch of items, buy low unit counts, and then realize that, oh, you actually do make money and that kind of thing. And then you'll get the confidence to buy a lot deeper. That's the big thing, honestly. That's honestly what takes people from being like a $10,000-$20,000 a month seller to, 6-figure months, is just having the confidence to be like, all right, I can look at this data. I bought enough products. I'm confident enough to say, hey, like, all right, I'm gonna get like, 500 of this, 200 of this, that kind of thing. Rather than having to buy 10. And then by the time you sell your 10, maybe that sale price is gone, or just kind of the opportunity isn't as good as what it was when you could have first hopped on it and taken massive advantage, basically. Sweet. How long did it take to switch an existing seller account individual? It's pretty quick, fast. I would just hit up before you guys change anything, like on the back end of your seller account, like bank account, credit card information, anything like that. Or in this case, especially like your business entity, just shoot them a message. Say, hey, I'm about to change this information. I'm confirming that this was me that's doing this, that kind of thing. Because depending on the change you make, sometimes they will like temporarily suspend your account so that you can prove that you actually changed the bank information, so that they know you didn't get hacked or something like that, and your money's going somewhere you don't want it to. For sure. Yeah, Adrian's spitting game in chat for you guys today too. Appreciate you, Adrian. What's a repricer? When would you need one? Yeah, so repricer will just monitor your prices all over time. It's kind of does what it says in the name, more or less. And as far as like when you want one, if you have like a good amount of money to start up, and like as soon as you have products in, I would say, if you're really trying to stretch a budget, I would say once you're doing like 1 to 2K a month, you got like 10, 20 products at least. Then it'll start changing those prices, and if the price changes by 25 cents and it pulls you out of the buy box, it'll automatically pull you back into the buy box, lower your price 25 cents, that kind of thing. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, you guys are firing away on some questions. I'm like a couple minutes behind, so I'm gonna get to you guys if you're keeping it dropping. But I like the energy today. Yeah, and if you guys are liking all this stuff, make sure you're already subscribed down below as well. And then if you want to be reminded whenever we're live, you can hit the little bell. It sounds cheesy and very YouTubery, but we're live a few times a week. So if you want to keep hopping in and asking questions and stuff like that, go ahead and hit that. And I want to put one of those shiny little 100K YouTube plaques behind me here before too long. Let's see. Started selling. You're wondering if you can get ungated with 10 unit invoices. Yeah, that's all I do, Ryan. I haven't done a single invoice over 10 units ever. Yeah. And yeah, as far as like auto ungated sourcing, you can do that as well. Which goes into, I see AV, you're just asking a question about auto ungated sourcing. Like, let's see, Ryan was asking about auto ungated, that kind of thing. So a few weeks ago, or maybe a month-ish ago at this point, I posted a video on the YouTube channel that's just specifically sourcing auto ungated products. So if you don't know how to find some of those, you can just dig in on that YouTube video, I would say. Yeah, basically everything you need to know there. There's a good amount of stuff that is auto ungated, and those are great to sell during the first few weeks while you are getting some of those first invoices submitted and you're having to resubmit a couple times, that kind of thing. How long is it going to take to Amazon approve opening a seller account? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure these days. It's obviously been a little while since I opened mine. But from what I've heard, it seems like it's a week or two, just based on the timeline of getting confirmation on your identity and that kind of thing, which during that time, while you're waiting for your Amazon account to get set up, or even if you already have the Amazon seller account and you're just a little bit unconfident on spending a lot of money at once, you can start to like practice sourcing. So you can, fire up SellerAmp, start reverse source and find the sales, that kind of thing. And then write down what you would have bought that item for, and you can track it over time as well. So you can kind of like paper trade some inventory while you're waiting, kind of building up the confidence, that kind of thing. I think that's a great idea. Got a message on Amazon from the brand saying, I always ignore those personally, Michael. Yeah, that's my philosophy, and it's never led to anything. The only serious account health things that I've ever had, they actually just filed the IP complaint and didn't warn me or make empty threats, that kind of thing. Yeah, they just do it. Sweet. Yeah, I don't do much one-on-one, Stephanie, but if you hop in the roadmap, you can DM me whenever, and then there's also weekly group calls as well. But yeah, I don't do too much one-on-one. What brand? Yeah, I like the Rolo. I had a Dymo for a really long time, which now is not super popular, but that was like the only one when I was getting started on Amazon, was the like the Dymo printer. I think those are like very prone to breaking these days. Let's see, what are the best tips do you recommend to win the buy box over other FBA and FBM? Yeah, so the main things that go into winning the buy box, so just winning that like add to cart button on a listing, is price and shipping speed. There's a lot of other smaller factors that go into it. Like for example, the more you stock in at an FBA warehouse, the more locations all across the country are going to be in, which again just ties back to shipping speed, right? So price and shipping speed are by far the most important things. So yeah, I would just say like make sure your FBM is as fast as possible. So you've got your shipping times dialed in. You have a good shipping template set up. If you don't have a shipping template in place or you need to copy one, you can just look up like a merchant fulfilled guide on YouTube, and I've got a good merchant fulfilled guide for you. And if you're FBA, it's just making sure you're in stock and setting the price at or a little bit above the current buy box, and you'll start to make some sales. Let's see, starting to, yeah, sounds like a good start there, Phil. I like it. Sweet. Yeah, keep the questions rolling here. Adrian's beating me to it on most of these. So shout out to Adrian here. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it rolling here. How'd you diversify when starting with $1,000, going wide rather than going deep? Yeah. So if you only have like $1,000, you need to figure out how to spend as much time as possible to spend your money as smartly as possible. So with like $1,000 to $500 somewhere in there, I would probably only be going to retail stores or going to even like thrift stores to sell books, that kind of thing. Like that's what I did. I had like $1,000 when I started. Obviously, I didn't know you could just get ungated to sell new products when I was starting. I was like, people are literally charging like $3,000 for that information. So there's a little bit more of an argument to just like jump straight into selling name brand stuff, hitting Marshalls, Ross, that kind of thing. But with just $1,000, you need to figure out how to get the highest ROI on that, which is 99% of the time that's going to be spending the extra time to turn it into extra margin, basically, which is RA and books and that kind of thing. Even like hitting some yard sales and estate sales, that kind of thing can be good as well. I assume you mean for ungating. Can you use card gift cards? You can. I generally don't if I'm using that invoice to get ungated, just because it adds an extra step. Because you'd have to show the invoice that matches your Amazon account when you bought the gift card, and then you have to show the gift card buying the product. So it just adds a little bit of extra complication. So I personally don't do it, but I know you definitely can, especially if it's like a crazy discount. You can go for it. Let's see. Got the seller account. Difficult time getting first product up, especially creating listing. Yeah, so you don't need to create the listing or anything like that, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, you should just be selling things that already exist. It sounds like you're trying to create a new product on Amazon. Yeah, so just look up auto ungated sourcing, and you'll see exactly how to source and sell products that you can sell right now that already have listings and existing demand and that kind of thing as well. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure on that. Yeah, for like I was saying earlier, if and you guys that have hopped in recently, if you want to like look at an individual product that you've been looking at recently, we can break that down live. That's always fun to do. See if it's a good idea or not to start selling. How do you find ungated products or brands? Just start plugging stuff in your account and see what you can sell. The main thing is as long as you can apply to sell a brand, just consider it ungated, because you can always just use 10 units from wherever you found it profitably. Yeah. Having a hard time finding one profitable item. What do you recommend? Yeah, so the big missing piece, a lot of people try to go like directly to a sale, and then they're comparing to Amazon from there. Or they're just doing all kinds of complicated stuff. Find a sale on a brand that has lots of third-party sellers on lots of the listings. If you need examples of that, you can just watch any of the past few sourcing videos I've made on my channel, and then you just need to start looking at the ideas that those sellers on the brands that are very reseller friendly already have. So you don't need to like reinvent the wheel or anything like that. And then eventually you can get fancier with how you source and that kind of thing. But yeah, for sure. You can just use 10 on that, Jacob. Yeah. For sure. Should you let products with no buy box scare you away? No, because those can still sell. A lot of times, like the buy box might go away if the price on another website is significantly lower, and then Amazon just doesn't want to show up in search results as being like way more expensive than other websites. But as long as you see, as long as you see like lots of third-party sellers consistently having sales with no buy box, like if you look at the SellerAmp chart, you'll see there's been no buy box chart for a little while, that kind of thing, and there's still lots of sales, then fire away on those. Those can be really good. Should you sell products that say high risk for IP alert? It depends. If you see a lot of successful third-party sellers on that listing for a while historically, I'll still sell those. There is no IP database or anything like that is perfectly accurate. Because some brands, they'll monitor certain listings like a hawk and you can't sell them. Other brands, or other listings, not so much. They might be kind of wide open for you to check out, right? So just kind of keep that in mind, that it can be very, very item to item. So if you see like third-party sellers having success, then go for it. Let's see. Yeah, Dizzle, you got an ace in checkout here. I forgot that when there's just one of us live, I have to type the ace in manually. It for some reason our software only lets you copy paste when there's multiple people on. So let me just copy this ace in here. Then we can take a look. All right, sweet. So Dizzle sent in this ace in here. He said you're not sure if it's private label or not. So let's check it out. Let's see. Yeah. So this right here. Whoops. Let's see. So this is $19 right here. Not the fastest seller in the world. Let's see if it is private label though. I don't think it's a private label just because I can see several third-party sellers on it. Let's see. Yeah. So not the fastest seller in the world. Let me know if I wrote this down correctly. But I would say if you're buying this for like $7 or less or so, then you can go for it. If these like $3.50 each, like making sure they're decent profit. That's probably actually right there. Those are so they're $2.87 each. You can see so 287 times 2. Whoops. Let's see 287 times 2. There we go. So yeah, it's like a double up. So since it doesn't sell very fast, but since it's like 100% ROI, I don't mind that at all. Yeah, I would say go for it. Not the I wouldn't do a ton of units. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, Stacey, you can hit up support if you have any technical issues, anything like that. You can explain the benefit of optimizing shipments. Yeah, George. So this is something new that that was added to Boxum, is like the optimizing shipments. So if you have 5 identical boxes in terms of like weight, what's in them, that kind of thing, Boxum is going to show you a new option where you don't pay any placement fees to send to Amazon. And you can compare, this is not possible basically anywhere else. You can compare the price of optimizing the shipment versus paying for placement. So you can pay the lowest possible price to ship those products. And that's just something that's available through Boxum now. So basically anyone using Boxum is going to be saving money on shipping, and the new shipment flow is also a huge time saver as well. So kind of a no, if you make FBA shipments, it's kind of a no-brainer now. Let's see. Where do you get images? So you don't need the listings or anything. You don't need images or anything like that. You're just selling listings that already exist. You can make your own product later down the line if you want to. But I wouldn't make a listing for anything that you don't hold a contract to being like the exclusive seller on, or it's just your brand straight up, basically. Yeah. I think paying for mentorship is worth it. It can be, Aaron. Yeah, it kind of depends on what you're up to. Yeah, and I don't really sell a formal mentorship or anything like that anymore. We have the FBA Roadmap, which literally 1,000+ people have used to successfully build their Amazon business faster. Where it does make sense is when you have a lot of money and you want to shorten your learning curve to get into any new skill, basically. So like when I started Amazon, I didn't, because I was broke. So I figured it out on my own and figured out how to turn my time into money. But if you have plenty of money and low on time, then I think it makes total sense. I've already bought several courses on new things I'm learning and that kind of thing, because it shortens your learning curve. It just kind of depends on what you're solving for. As long as you're really good at sourcing, it shouldn't matter how much you start with. Correct. Yeah. Basically, it'll obviously, like, an inventory-based business is directly correlated to how much money you spend on inventory. So you just keep that in mind, right? You can't have $1,000 and expect to be $1 million seller in 6 months, that kind of thing. That's just not how the math is going to compound. But yeah, start with what you got and keep scaling. Yeah. What should you do about the price tags that come on the items? Yeah, cover them up with like a blank SKU label, or peel them off, whatever's easier. Usually I just end up covering them because it's faster. Yeah. For sure. Do you need 2 different printers for barcode SKU? No, so you can use a Rollo printer for both of those, outlet. Yeah. Yeah, so as far as shipping goes, Boxum software, Rollo printer, you can get the free larger labels from UPS, and then get 2x1 labels from Amazon. And for like, usually it's like $5 to $10 a roll for like 1,000, 2,000 of them, that kind of thing. Submit 10 units. If it's asking for 100, it still works. That's all I've done. Probably 25, 30 times at this point. It said it wanted 100. We used 10 and it worked. Let's see. confident you can improve your source. You challenge yourself and up your ROI and profit. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. So you said you only have like $1,000, so you already need to be really, really careful with what you actually buy. You got to make sure that money stretches as far as possible. But yeah, that's a great way of looking at it, right? Because in the early days, it's really easy to look for like the perfect product, and you're just never going to find the perfect product, especially as a true beginner. So you buy the 25 ROI, and then you buy the 30 ROI, and then suddenly you realize, oh, I've got a big list of leads that I can restock, or I know I can source right now, and the ROI is 35. It's 50 here, it's 80 here, right? And then you start optimizing for how do I spend my money in the highest ROI way, rather than just like how do I find something that's profitable. Yeah, you buy stuff that's good until you have a whole bunch of stuff that's great, and then you can get picky, basically. For sure. See, video you show the shipping process. Yeah, Ali. So look at I made a video of a couple weeks ago where I did that. Yeah, just walk you fully through the shipment creation process. For the 3 labels that's required to ship, where do they go on the package? So the FN SKU label is going to go on the barcode. As you're listing those products on Boxum, you're going to put those down into the boxes, and then Boxum's going to give you the UPS and FBA box labels as well. Yeah. So you do have to no, just use 10 units right there. Sweet. So I'm going to do a quick lightning round on the questions that are left here, and then we'll probably go ahead and wrap up for the day. Sweet. What do you need to do to get started? Watch the free course down below. Get a free trial of SellerAmp. Get a free trial of Boxum, and start rolling. That way you'll be ready to source products and ship products off and track how much you're making, that kind of thing. Recommendations. Yeah, just keep submitting. I'd say like 5 or 6 times on average is how much it's taken. Yeah. For sure. How many hours a day do you work? Yeah, so on the Amazon business, like 30 minutes a day ish. Some days it's literally no time. Some days it's like an hour because I have a meeting or two with my team. But yeah, that's after a long time of mastering the business myself and then teaching other people everything I know about Amazon so that they can do it for me. So don't expect that right away, but it's definitely possible to turn it into like a legit business long term. Yeah. Sweet. Good vibes today. Probably gonna go ahead and wrap up there. In the chat, for those of you guys that are kind of trying to get serious about this stuff, I will drop a link to the free course that you should go through. There's also a free Discord in there. So go, start interacting in the Discord, watch all the free videos in there. That'll show you how to source products, get ungated, learn all the basics, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that'll be a great starting point for you. And let me know if I can help you guys out with anything. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, Discord, that kind of thing. Always happy to help you guys out. And yeah, let's win today. You guys have a good rest of your day.